Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Strange Times Poetry Broadcast coming to you live from the Poetry Bookshelf. I'm going to be reading three uplifting poems today, if you haven't seen us before. And one is by a famous author, one is by a friend, and one is by myself. And if you want to get updates about when this goes live, any other information about Strange Times Poetry Broadcast, please like us on our Facebook page. So today I'm going to be reading poems and on the theme of talismans. So not exactly, objects that are magical or give us good luck, but I think in these poems, the magic of these objects is how they provide inspiration, consolation, and just generally an uplifting moment through the exploration of different, objects around the house. The first poem that I'm going to read is by one of my favorite poets, Wislawa Szymborska. Unfortunately, not from this book, but this is one of my favorite books. I just love her writing. She's so, precise, ironic, and just a very, her writing is it doesn't try to be complicated. It's very straightforward with such intense imagery and, like I said, sense of humor and irony. I just enjoy almost every one of her poems I've ever read, and I highly recommend her. I think she's perfect reading for this time because she's a Polish writer. A lot of her writing is in reaction to, tragedies that happen, there. And so in a time of loss and tragedy, I think she provides an important voice of how to cope with that. So this poem is called Consolation. I read it in 1 second. Here we go. Consolation. Darwin. They say he read novels to relax, but only certain kinds. Nothing that ended unhappily. If anything like that turned up, enraged, he flung the book into the fire. True or not, I'm ready to believe it. Scanning in his mind so many times and places, he'd had enough of dying species, the triumphs of the strong over the weak, the endless struggles to survive, all doomed sooner or later. He'd earned the right to happy endings, at least in fiction, with its diminutions. Hence the indispensable silver lining. The lovers reunited, the families reconciled, the doubts dispelled, fidelity rewarded, fortunes regained, treasures uncovered, stiff-necked neighbors mending their ways, good names restored, greed daunted, old maids married off to worthy parsons, troublemakers banished to other hemispheres, forgers of documents tossed down the stairs, seducers scurrying to the altar, orphans sheltered, widows comforted, pride humbled, wounds healed over, prodigal sons summoned home, cups of sorrow thrown into the ocean, hankies drenched with tears of reconciliation, general merriment and celebration, and the dog Fido, gone astray in the first chapter, turns up barking gladly in the last. So what I love about this poem, first of all, the talisman is these novels with happy endings, and I don't know, I just feel this poem right now because I also am finding it, I want to read something light. If I'm going somewhere else, I want to go somewhere light, and the idea that somebody who is spending their time studying, Darwin studying endless struggles to survive, just needs something light to read. Um, I just love how that all comes together. And this could be talking about any struggle. Um, and she's just so sarcastic. Sometimes sarcasm to me is just as uplifting as something actually uplifting because it makes me chuckle. All right, our next poem is by my friend Derek J.G. Williams. He was a classmate at UMass Boston, and he's now a PhD, or he was, I don't know if he's finished or if he still is a student at a PhD student at University of Ohio, and of course a very accomplished poet. And I'm going to be reading his poem Cast Iron, which is about a cast iron pot that takes us a lot of places. All right, I'll talk about it in a minute. Cast Iron. Summer. Coal skin, ash within, pressing my cheek to the stove's cool flank, it sounds like a seashell's empty roar. 2 iron lions tangle on the door of the wood stove in our 2-room house. Winter, The cats and dogs pile near its heat. They sleep on the stone floor. Before rolling Friday night pizzas, we leave dough to rise in a bowl on the hearth. A brick there, 1978. 20 years pass. It takes 4 men to carry the chalkboard black whale from the house and heave it by the road's edge. I'm almost a man by then, and help. Rub with lard, 3 coats, the layers baked in the oven at 500 degrees. A woman I once knew how to love, care for this pan, she made a gift of its gleam. Worried about ruining it, I made bacon 3 successive mornings. Above the oven, the blue-black bat hangs by its wing. It shines when I wake, and it shines when I sleep. Only then do I forgive all I've been given. So, in addition to just the joy of language in this poem, um, sort of this adventure with the object of the cast iron, the pan, the cast iron stove, and how it brings the speaker through their life. And I love the idea of the cast iron because it can be both sort of rusted, cantankerous, but then it can be made to gleam by love. And there's also lost love in this poem. Um, but the idea that the speaker learns how to make the pan gleam on their own, and it's shining while they wake and sleep, is how the speaker forgives all that has been given. So there is a letting go through this object of past struggles. Um, yeah, I just love all the places in life this one brings us. In the summer, pressing a cheek to the stove's cool flank. Beautiful. All right, thanks, Derek. All right, and my last poem, which is mine, it's actually a collaboration with Aviva Jaye. We both participated in an exhibit by some friends of collaborative artwork, and we chose to make a poem together, even though Aviva is technically a musician and a visual artist. She's also an amazing writer. Um, and we were given a project that someone else had done, and we had to come up with a response to it together. And so this poem, the talisman is note cards, and the idea of, revision and editing your own life as a space for possibility. Um, Here goes. Notes on wind. What does it mean to be editable, malleable, bendable, curvy, windy, a ribbon in motion, cooked spaghetti hugging a fork, having a fast and furious affair with index cards? Keep remixing that lone card, delicious, unnecessarily satisfying gibberish, laborious singling out, laughing a lot, which couldn't be bad, right? Keep remixing. Wind, wind, window, up, tightly wound, tightly wounded. Winding notes, a youth still learning their own nature. That card too small to hold, imperfect, part expandable, expendable, too small to be forgettable. But wait, let me laugh again. So, yeah, and here I think the joy of this poem is the idea of being malleable and editable and being a youth still learning um, at any point. And the sort of potential of those cards to shift things around, to shuffle, to try something new. Um, there's a lot of joy in that potential, and definitely laughter over mistakes and successes. Um, Thanks for joining me, and I hope you stay safe, stay sane. Good night. Bye.